Now, the rest of the story.
Well, here we go. I'm on the last field of hay, or field that I need to bale for today anyway. Not completely done with everything that's cut. I got probably 3 to 5 acres that has to be baled yet, but looking at it, I don't think it's going to yield really heavy. Of course, once again, I don't know until I actually go to bale it. But this is the field that's been a real pain in the butt. This is a 6-acre field, and it's been raked 3 times now. Ryan raked it, and the next day Dad raked it. Came out last night, I baled 3 bales off of it, and they were tough, like shook the whole tractor when you went and dumped them out the back. And it's the clover that's in them. The clover just isn't dry. So I finished up with what I had left last night. I actually started on a bunch of Ryans, those 11 acres, which actually yielded really well. That 11 acres yielded just over half the bales that all of the first stuff that I cut for Dad ended up yielding. So it was, Dad had what, 61 bales initially, and now with this, we're back on Dad's bale counter. But Ryan ended up with over 60, and we got a ways to go yet on first cut. So with this, where are we at? 125 bales. With everything I have left to cut, we could still end up with a few hundred bales. The valley, just seeing how some of this stuff is yielding, that is variable. That's about the best way I can say it. It's variable. Stuff that looks like it's light doesn't yield too bad, and stuff that looks like it's heavy yields really well. And it's really hard to judge, because like Dad's stuff, I mean, you could actually flip-flop it, because Ryan and Dad's, the last stuff of Dad's that I made, this stuff is yielding better than the first stuff of Dad's that I baled. But yet the first stuff of my brother's stuff that I baled yielded better than the last stuff of Ryan's that I baled. And Ryan is, I mean, I got all of his is baled, so he's pretty well done on first cut. Dad, I have a bunch down at my place. When I say my place, I mean the place where I live. Dad runs the ground, and there's 7 to 10 acres down there. I have 7 to 10 acres of just waterways, and then after that, then I have just a nice round number. I'm just going to say I have over 100 acres at least down at the valley that I got to get made. That's a moving number too, because depending on how much rain we get, if we get any, how dry it is down there, the longer it stays dry, the more the bottom dries out. If I can go down like right now, there's already a fair few amount of acres that I could go and cut for the first time, and that I've never cut before, just because it's that dry. It's dried up that much, and I promise you that I'll make everything down there that I can. Slight concern, not a huge concern, with the amount of dryness we have at the moment, largely because they are calling for rain Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is Saturday, I think. I should say at the beginning of the video. They're calling for rain Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they keep moving those numbers around. It's gone anywhere from, Tuesday's been like our best chance, but it's gone anywhere from like 20% to 50% chances. I think we're currently sitting at a 37% chance of scattered thunderstorms. what's Wednesday, once again, it's isolated thunderstorms, or vice versa, and then Thursday there's a chance of showers. We'll take it. I mean, it's a heck of a switch from the last couple years where I'm cussing the weather forecast because making any dry hay was just impossible. Even when they were calling for dry weather, we never got it. But with how dry the ground is right now, any rain that we get, it's going to soak right in, just as long as it doesn't all come at once and it allows that ground to do its job. It will be great. We'll be sitting really good for a second cut and everything we've gotten made so far. It would have been nice if I could have gotten the bottom done early enough, but as of right now, it's already looking like it'll be the middle of June before I have my next window. I mean, is it really going to be the middle of June already? That's awfully depressing. But I think that's right. What is today? So it's June 5th. Yeah, I think the next chance that I could cut, looking at the extended forecast, really isn't all that dependable. But a week from today. So another 7 days, that's the first third going on a half of the month of June is already going to be done. And the valley alone is going to be no small task because it's gotten a healthy dose of fertilizer, more so than the stuff that I made so far. Had the water that it needed. I mean, we haven't had rain in 8 days now, and it's starting to show, but the stuff down there, just because how it yields in a normal year, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't at least excited about going down there and actually getting it all made and rolled up, because I think there's going to be a fair amount of material down there, but it also came at a price. I mean, I've said it before and I've said it time and time again, because it seems like I have random comments from even locals that say that it's just grass. I think I did a video on this, but they say that it's just grass. It'll grow. I mean, why waste the money fertilizing it? Well, it's no fertilizer. Fertilizer versus no fertilizer, you're talking tons per acre. Literal tons. So, that field of my dad's, that first field that I made that first night, I already referenced it, mentioned it in a video now. That field, that 1 acre piece, the reason it yielded so good is because it has an enormous amount of organic material on it, because that was the panic button, the panic field. Back when we were milking cows, way back when, since beginning of ever, whenever Grandpa couldn't get out to the field in the winter to spread manure because of the snow, he always would spread on that field. So that field's fertility is through the roof, and that field, I know for a fact, went over it was like 4.555 tons the acre if you want to get super technical about it. Yielded really well, but then went to the next strip and it dropped right off. Ryan's 11 acres last night, hay, grass, alfalfa mix, ran through the baler. Awesome. I mean, didn't have any issues, didn't have to stop, and it yielded really, really well. My biggest concern is we run out of water, or the water shuts off, and first cut is the only cut, and second cut just isn't worth it. The reason that that concern is growing is because it's the 5th of June, and I just came back through Ryan's buildings, and his yard is brown. It's a little concerning when your yards are turning brown in June already. Maybe that's normal. Maybe that's average. I don't know. I mean, the last 4 or 5 years are kind of engraved in my memory, and I'm just used to having a wet, soggy June. So maybe this is normal and we'll be fine. Kind of anxious about really selling too much for new crop corn because I'd like to see the crops a lot farther along than what they are. I mean, they're growing, it's got the heat, but once the corn, the beans get to where they're really going to start burning through the water, I'm just worried that they're going to run out and shrivel up. I mean, that's a concern, right? So once I get done with this, Mom and Dad are hauling hay in. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. They're using the bale wagon. I'm kind of leaning towards going back, dropping this off. You know, I'm not going to clean it up or grease it, which it's fine. I can hook up to it on a rainy day here, assuming we get one, and I'll get it cleaned back up. In the shed, it's not going to hurt it at all. I'm putting my 3-point trailer mover on, hook onto the flatbed, and go out and help haul some hay in. Really leaning that way because it's Saturday. Plan on working Sunday, Monday, because if we do get the rain on Tuesday, I'm gonna probably start cultivating. So Andrew's bringing the tank down, already has the tank here. I have to finish plumbing up my fertilizer onto the cultivator again, but that won't take long. I just got to run up to the local hardware store and get some plumbing items, and I can have that thing up and going in no time. And then side dress, where I want to side dress, I have the farm that I sprayed with the gator for all that grass that was coming in. Okay, the corn that I have close to home is getting to the point where I need to side dress it, cultivate it, because if we get some rain, that stuff is going to grow to the point where I won't be able to do as good a job as I'll be able to do with the corn being short enough I can run through it. Worst comes to worst. Yeah, that's fine. I got my video camera set up so I can see the bales and make sure that it's actually wrapping right. The sun's starting to bug it. Oh yeah, we're good. Worst comes to worst, I've done it before, where the tractor and the cultivator picked up off the ground, or just riding on top of the soil, and at the very least getting my side dress on is going to be pretty important. The only thing that bugs me about it is the first stuff that I got to side dress, it looks beautiful. Between the rows being nice and straight, and the plants are just slightly uneven, but hardly at all. I think it was germination issues versus actual emergence issues. So gonna kind of not be the best feeling in the world driving over corn through that field, but it needs to be done because Andrew can't side dress it or Y drop it with the self-propel just for how it lays. And honestly, seems how I'm not willing to cut hay when they are calling for rain. I might just, even on the ground that I'm not planning on side dressing, literally just go through and just start cultivating a bunch of Dad's ground. It ain't gonna hurt it. I honestly don't believe it's gonna hurt it, even if it is dry out. In the comment section from that other video, everybody's on the same page where you cultivate it, it helps bring the roots up, or moisture up to the roots. That's the plan. So it's just a little bit of everything going on at once, because I'm trying to make hay, which is really unusual for this time of year lately. Cultivate. I have 5 acres of corn that was sod last year that the grass is coming up pretty ugly in it. So Andrew bought me a little bit more Roundup so I can at least get that sprayed off. Then once I get that same 5 acres, I want to side dress it, cultivate it, because the fact it was in grass, it was seeded down and it didn't take. And then man, it's gonna be 4th of July before we know it. And the thing is, that's the problem. 4th of July seems to be the yearly break. Once we get to 4th of July, we're already sliding into harvest. It just feels like that. I mean, August might be kind of a slow month, but then once you hit September, you're already looking for getting the harvest equipment out. And anymore, I'm actually getting the combine out in August, so I'd rather have everything ready to go long beforehand than get it out a week before we need it. So we're still sitting at, 127. This is probably going to run, I doubt we'll get up to 135. That's total bales made so far. Which actually isn't too bad for what I've covered. Just me alone, I'd like to get upwards of 700 bales. I mean, what I want and what I'll get are two separate things. I could have hit 600 last year easily if I didn't have the weather issues and losing part of the bottom and half of the rest of it that I was able to make. And as is farming, it's legalized gambling. It really is. So I had a lot of money riding on that. But still a lot more fun than going down to the casino, putting it all on black and letting it ride, right? Well, I think that's our cue. 20 minutes approximately. Well, right there confirms it. I just lost my camera again. SD card error. This is a different camera than the other night, but I use the same card. It's gonna roll on me. Oh well. So I guess I'm going home and hopefully I can salvage what video I have off this, and then the card's getting thrown in the trash. So that's probably about the most aggravating thing I've had here ever since doing this is if it's not the cameras, it's the cards. If it's not the cards, it's the batteries. So the problem is trying to diagnose which one's which. And with that, I'm going to end this video before it can cut me off again. You guys are watching the rest of the story. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys are looking for something to comment what you had for breakfast. It helps with the algorithm and it gets this channel out of its rut, because that's clearly where we're at anymore. So I'll talk to you later.